Hi, my name is Darren Baldwin, and I'm a Hulu enthusiast and a true crime fanatic. True crime can be watched and heard from so many platforms. Today, we will be talking about true crime documentaries on Hulu and its effects it has on some of our viewers. More importantly, are true crime documentaries that let the murderers tell their side of their story. Today, I'll be going over Hulu's mission statement and why murder documentaries are ethical and can be educational. Why Hulu can be called out for being unethical, but being morally responsible for what is aired on Hulu. Utilitarianism and Durkheim's theory, fundamentalism, and using moral grandstanding and that as a combining argument to show why true crime documentaries can be used in a positive way on our network. One of the biggest problems in while we're facing so much backlash is that some of our viewers think that we're profiting off of murder and telling their story and using someone's trauma to profit instead of showing awareness about the actual crime that happened. And I know that documentaries can be dramatized and it's told from the murder's aspect, and that can be seen as unethical because we're listening to a murderer what he or she did, and we can have a unethical value, and we can get an unethical opinion about why he actually did it or he or she did it. Our mission statement is to empower everyone to discover, share, and celebrate the stories that connect us. If we use the mission statement in terms as words, like we can celebrate the stories that connect us, and by we can be connected by murders as stated in Durkheim's theory that every crime has performed three positive functions: social regulation, social integration, and social change. Social regulation, that people are reminded of boundaries, that when a crime like that happens, that you get sent to prison, that you might be facing the death penalty. And that goes into social integration, where people bond together and closely against criminals, and it allows them for social change to take place. And Durkheim says without deviance there can be no change. That he's stating that without showing the deviance of a crime, that we wouldn't be able to see the cause and effect attitude at the end of the day. We won't be able to see the change in our society as a whole if we never know the deviance that's going on, if we don't talk about it, we don't talk about the problem at hand. And some of these documentaries, they do talk about why we have problems in our society and why that murderer might have he had a problem, and that's what led him or her to do the heinous crime of murder. Moral grandstanding is the ability to discuss effectively matters of a moral concern with other people, is an indispensable tool for both interpersonal dealing and promoting moral improvement. Harber wrote in the same article that, and he stated that moral talk is often rather repugnant, leveling moral accusation, expressing moral indigestion, passing moral judgment, allotting the blame, administering moral reproof, justifying oneself, and above all, moralizing. I think if we moralize the fact of murder, then it's unethical at the end of the day. I think a moral grandstanding is just the ability to discuss effectively matters of moral concern. Like, we're concerned that a murderer is telling us his side of the story, but also we're using it for an educational purpose at the end of the day. We're using it to not regress our society. We're using it to see the heinous things. And sometimes using these document series as a voice, you can look at it as a voice for the victim. So we're saying that I know the murderer is saying it, but we're not letting the victim go unnoticed, and that creates a ethical boundary that we can put in place in our company that makes sure that we don't have backlash down the road, that we can sit there and say that we are a company that care about we care about their ethics, we care about their morals, and we are a company that we don't let victims or the victim's family go unnoticed. One of the things that as a business I think we should do is the money that we let these documentaries make on our network, we should take some of our profits and give it to the families of the victim that were harmed in that documentary. Like they there's always testimony and things that happen when when a murder happens or something, but let's as a company make sure that we can go beyond and be of the social norm of someone helping someone out from just showing a story from another perspective. We should be able to make the victim's family profit from something that we can air on our network and share the wealth with our viewers and our victims families. Another criteria that we should go when we're picking our that we should use as a business aspect is pick true crime documentaries that have a mission statement close to ours or even the same as ours when deeming it okay to air on our network. Because having that, we won't have the unethical dilemmas that we have that we're not doing it. Because if the people creating the documentaries have the same ethical background as us, we will make sure that we'll be on the same page and we won't be coming across that we have an unethical background. Hulu also has a mature filter, and I think if we use more advertising in our filters, that just it's not just for kids, that we can actually filter out what is actually shown to us on Hulu. And that being it, we can reform our policies that show like that we don't have to show true crime documentaries if you really don't want to see them on your Hulu page, and that will make our company succeed in life and be able to give all of our viewers the same discretion that we give, because some viewers want to see these true crime documentaries, as myself, because I use them to promote a good ethical dilemma and make sure that the victims are heard at the end of the day. And one big thing, the biggest thing that we need to do, in my conclusion, is we need to make sure either at the footer or the header of the documentary, we need to make sure that the victim is heard. We say positive things about those victims in there. We can make that a criteria for when it comes to picking our documentaries, that they have to have some level of decency to the victims and the victim's family in the documentary that shows a positive side of that. Because at the end of the day, these true crime documentaries could be true, could be false, but we want to make sure that the victims and the victim's family are never forgotten, and always in for using their story, that they are paid in the rights that they should be paid.